As you add your images in, you'll want to use the Move tool to move each image around. So make sure that you're clicked on the correct layer, select, deselect, to move things around. So if I want to move the clock, I've got to be clicked on the clock and the Move tool to move this around. If I want to move the window, I've got to be clicked on the layer with the window. Anything you put on the sidewall needs to be in perspective. So for example, this clock, I can shrink it to the size I want it, but it's not really in perspective. The same with the window on the other side. Because this wall is going back toward the vanishing point, the window should as well. And what you can do with that is you can do that with the transform tool. So when I'm clicked on the image, I'll start with the clock, that I want to transform, I'm going to go to Image, Transform, and then over to Perspective. And then what I can do is I can play around with dragging the corners, so I'm moving that down toward the vanishing point. So this would probably be straight, sort of straight in line with the vanishing point, and this top would be angled back toward the vanishing point. And then when you're happy, you can click OK. And the same thing with the window. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to Image, Transform, Perspective. And I'm going to put that window in perspective. If I want to make it, you know, a different way, I can if I'm thinking about the surreal. But I think I want this to be sort of pretty realistic in perspective. And then I can say OK. Now, if I need to bring that little goldfish back on top, I can always drag the window down so that the goldfish is on top. Okay. Another thing I can do is if you want to add a filter to an image, you can as well. So when I'm clicked on the clock, I'm going to go to Filter, Distort, Liquify, and then I can go ahead and I'm going to use the little pointer here, and I can change the brush size if I want it to be more precise and small. Okay. I think I'm going to say revert, and I'm going to make the brush size a little bit bigger. Yeah. That looks like the Scream mask, doesn't it? Okay. And I'm going to say OK. So now I've got my sort of melting clock. And if I don't like that, I can just say Control Z. Okay. And there's all different filters if you want to play around with it. Just make sure that you're clicked on the layer that you want to adjust. Another thing you can do with your pictures is you can adjust the transparency. So if I'm clicked on the big goldfish, up here you can see opacity is 100%. You can't see through it. But I can go ahead and make that more transparent if I wanted. You can sort of play with the transparency of your layers. If I wanted, let's say the goldfish was down here, and I wanted a shadow of the goldfish, one thing that's cool I can do is I can duplicate the layer. So now I've got two goldfishes. And I can flip this one the other way. Okay. And I can make it, I want to make it darker, so I'm going to say Enhance, Adjust Lighting, Brightness, Contrast. Okay. Make that darker. And I might do that again, Enhance, Adjust Lighting, Brightness, Contrast. This is just a quick way to do it. There's still some orange in there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that transparent so that it looks like a shadow underneath there. There's all sorts of things you can do to enhance. You can adjust the brightness or contrast. I'm not clicked on a layer. You can also, that's adjust the brightness, but you can also adjust the color, and you can do color variations. So if I wanted to take that goldfish and make the goldfish blue by decreasing the other colors, I think we're just going to make it purple for the sake of time. You know, you can play around with and change the color of things too. Okay, so be creative. I'm here when you need help, and you've got your resources to work with. So let's get going on our project.